like a butterfly, sting like a bee. King Kong got nothing on me. King of the jungle, man, young man rumble. See you hating on me, but you can't stop my hustle. When your back's against the wall, better fight back. Yeah, we ready to brawl, we wanna fight back. Yeah, I'm gonna take it all, gonna fight back. No one gave me nothing, so I had to fight back. You gotta dig deep inside, yeah, fight back.
Go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Blockchain Renegades. We on the getting up from the down under on up. We're getting down from the down under. That's what's up, friends. Yo, 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 you know what this is. Episode 2, like Attack of the Clones. This is Tom Duder, and on the other side of the world, holding it down for us, brothers, it be...
Rodrigo Soto. And that's not Soto Japanese. It's Soto, it's Chilean. So, yeah, not DeSoto or Satoshi or Sotoshi. No, it's Soto.
I was going to make that joke. Nice, nice. That was good.
Yeah, there we go.
Satoshi.
Satoshi.
If we were to run our own faucet, we could totally call it So. No, nobody would get that joke.
No, they wouldn't, would they?
Never mind. Well,
the
biggest news of the day, my friend. Bitcoin hit 11K today and then dropped to 9.2K. Coinbase is talking about they have 300,000 new registered users ever since the whole 10K hit happened, like a couple days ago. And now we are back up to 10K, 10,070 in US dollars, mind you. So that's some craziness, dude.
That's quite impressive. But that's a big fluctuation. You know, I've got a joke, by the way. But that's very volatility. So can we discuss volatility?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, you go for it. You tell us about volatility. And, you know, in Australian dollars, it's 3,424 right now. It did get up to 15,000. You know, 15,000 and it dropped $1.5 grand. Wow, that's a lot.
I might be wrong, and correct me if I am wrong, but I'm fairly certain this is the biggest jump that Bitcoin has ever had in its history, that is, since its inception. I know it's had a gradual, over the years, up until like 2017, it did have that one dip, you know what I mean? But if you look at the graphs anywhere, like in most places they even talk about this kind of thing, they did have a dip, like back in the day, that due to that, what, 50 million, 500 million heist? But, you know, it recovered, and it's been going strong in an upward surge since then. But never in 24 hours have we seen something this crazy where it rises to 11K, drops to 9.2K. Now, the volatility of Bitcoin is both a good and a bad thing. Some people will argue about how a currency of any sort, especially fiat, should be stable. But I really need to point out the American currency isn't that stable. Let's not forget that our credit slipped a couple years back thanks to W. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, fiat in and of itself isn't really that good, especially when it comes to leveling the playing field and for the middle class, so to speak. But on the other hand, the volatility of Bitcoin actually is a benefit to many different platforms, including BitConnect and I think even USI Tech. Certainly there are certain platforms which they revolve around the volatility, whether it's going up or even going down. These platforms make money.
Binary options, you know, you make a trade, say it's going to go up in 30 seconds, and if you're right, you get your goodness. And if you do binary options on Bitcoin, and most of the time you say it's going to go up because that's the way it's freaking going, you can make a lot of freaking cash. I'm serious. You know, I'm not willing to try binary options yet, but yeah, carry on.
Oh no, I'm sorry, go for it.
No, I was just saying I'm not willing to try binary options yet. That's a bit out of my league at this stage, but I've been hearing about it, and people have been making a lot of dosh using binary options and Bitcoin at the same time. Yeah.
And the other thing to consider is that now I know BitConnect, and I'm not in BitConnect personally, but it is in my sights. That's like my number 2, if not number 3, target place to go to. I'm going to drop $100, $1,000 or whatever, and let it build from there. But with BitConnect, if Bitcoin goes down, you do not lose money, apparently. That's what I've heard from many other YouTubers that are on BitConnect. No, not just Trayvon James, but little people as well. You know, I go to little and bigs. I try to get a spread of information and a spread of viewpoints in any particular investment that I go for. When it comes to Bitcoin, though, like I said, if Bitcoin goes down, they do not lose money. If it goes up, they make money. So just the fact that from the volatility alone that it's gone up, it's gone down, and it's gone back up, and even so drastically, they're gonna be making money. So that's something to consider right there. And that's just one platform out of several. But that's the one that I know off the top of my head too. So just saying.
Right.
So there are ways to capitalize on the volatility. Now you mentioned options. You wouldn't be talking about the CME futures, would you?
No. Well, I wouldn't be certain. I'm not really that knowledgeable on trading. I mean, I used to do trading on commodities, futures commodities rather. You know, gold, fiat currencies and whatnot, and you'd make a profit depending on how high it goes or how low it drops. So you go long, it's to basically when you want to, when it goes up, and shorts is when you want to sell, I think, when it goes down. So yeah, it's I used to do commodities futures. So what is CMEs? What is that? Explain that to me.
Well, it's something that I've only been looking into recently, personally, with SegWit2x, and whether you like it or not, SegWit2x happened. Some people would describe it, rightfully so from what I can tell, that it was a corporate and political takeover attempt of Bitcoin, of the algorithm, of blockchain. The blockchain, that is. This blockchain, I should say. And ultimately, CME futures is what seems to be a second attempt by turning it into a commodity that can be traded in the open, in the stock market. It's something that can not only be controlled, but can even be destroyed by the stock market, which is something that was brought up, that that if they can't control it, then they can just get rid of it, so long as it stays in their grasp with these quote-unquote CME futures. Now, as stated before, and as we stated before in the past, we are not professionals. I might be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong. And please, if I am, correct me in the comment section below. Seriously. But CME futures, from what I can tell, is both a good and bad thing, but more bad than good. I'm very passionate about keeping Bitcoin wild, keeping it decentralized. We do not need it centralized. Do you want to know what happens when you centralize a currency like that? Look at America. Things are not good here. I don't give a crap what you believe, what your opinion is. If you can't afford to get ahead in life, there is something wrong with the system. And Bitcoin is changing that. It's one of the reasons why I am so passionate about the decentralization of it, keeping it out of the hands of those who can manipulate it, who already have a greater advantage than anybody else. Screw you. Nah, man.
Yeah.
I know I know this is a fictional you I'm talking about, whatever. And I know y'all are afraid of us coming up, and you should be. But at the same time, competition is what keeps it healthy. Competition is what an open market should be about. Right now, we haven't seen real competition in 20 years. And I know I mentioned that in the last episode, and I will keep hammering that point because it's true. Ever since the 90s, we haven't seen any real competition anywhere. People are getting a leg up from friends and family, old money, nepotistic crony means, and that's disgusting. That is not the way things should be. Capitalism gets it done. Even though I'll say, yeah, if we the people tomorrow, and I'm talking about from America point of view, mind you, not anywhere else, but if America tomorrow stated, well, we communism now, okay. If we the people stated we're going to be communist, that's what's up. But we have not. Capitalism currently is undergoing a weird evolution in the worst ways. And this is something that needs to be battled. It needs to be fought. And I've stated before, it was episode 00 or 01, Bitcoin is our weapon. This is what we can do to level the playing field and allow middle-class people to get on the up, you know? And that's the point of it. So when I heard about CME futures, a shiver ran down my spine. Like, holy crap, SegWit2x wasn't enough. Now they're going to try doing it this way. And some people would see that Bitcoin being quote-unquote legitimized is a good thing. But if it puts it in the hands of those who would destroy us, why? Don't. Like, I'm just saying, that ain't something we need to have done.
You know,
period. So the volatility, let it go up, let it go down. I think in episode 1 I belabored and you know, I was worried about the fact that we're hitting 10, or was it on Twitter? Whatever. The fact that we're hitting 10K before the end of December is worrisome. It is. There's quite a few people talking about it's a bubble that will burst. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's gone so volatile to the point where that's happened, that is something to be worried about. If we hit 20K by the end of December, this may result in a longer bull market than what we want. Or is it bear market? Whichever one's bad. What's down, pessimistic. Yeah, it's bull. No, bear. It's bear market. My bad. So a longer than usual bear market. We have a bear market that will eventually hit coming up. That goes without saying. That's just the natural forces of economy. But Bitcoin has it's insulated in certain ways from what I can tell. I might be wrong, but in this I don't think I am. You know, for the most part, that insulation, the very factor that it's not an inflationary currency helps. The fact that there's more for it to expand and grow. You know, Bitcoin is still very relatively young. It is quite possibly one of the newest currencies that ain't Sealand.
Yeah.
What do they call it?
Interject here.
Starbucks?
Let me interject here, Thomas. Let me interject. I want to describe the bubble. I want to talk about the bubble. Now, I know I talked about it before, but that was probably in the non-existent 00 episode. So I'll just reiterate here. Now, people talk about the bubble. It's going to go inflate really quick, and all of a sudden, pop. No. The way that Bitcoin works, the fundamental baseline way it works, is like the more people that use it, the more valuable it becomes because there's more transactions and there's more verification processes of these transactions taking place, and thus more Bitcoins are released. Now, the more Bitcoins that are released, the more value that it has. However, the intensity and the difficulty of releasing this Bitcoins also increases the more people that get involved. So in one way, it becomes more valuable, but it also becomes more difficult to release these Bitcoins. So that's to say that every 4 years, it halves in the amount that it releases. So more people, less Bitcoins released. More people, less Bitcoins released. So what does that mean? It's like it's a fulcrum. It's like a seesaw going up in a certain direction, and it keeps it balanced. So it's always going to go up. The more people that use it, the more it will go up. And people say, well, what if all the Bitcoins are eventually used? Well, one thing is for sure, you got a certain amount of Bitcoins, you can continue using it because you just send it to someone else and someone else sends it to you, and the value will stay the same at that point. However, that'll be in the year 2125. That is a long way away.
If we get functional immortality, though, we'll be there to see it. I'm just saying.
Well, yes.
If we actually get functional immortality.
Well, that's a topic we can discuss, transhumanism. I mean, Bitcoin will allow it to fund that. But one thing I want to discuss is the digital currency and the one world currency. And people, in the Bible, it does say that no one will be able to transact, purchase, or buy anything unless you've got the mark of the beast on your right hand. Now, what if you had a QR code of your identity, which is a wallet ID, tattooed to your right hand, and you're not allowed to buy and sell unless you got that?
And that means all the people that have been freaking out over the years over RFID chips were wrong. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Well, it could be an RFID chip, but they misdirected. You know, what if this little chip basically had your physical wallet address, and every time you go to the shop, you get it scanned, and you pay out of that wallet, and every time you want to receive, someone scans it, and it sends it to that wallet. Yeah, that's something, but that's just, to me, we want to talk about religion, we can talk about it later on, but that's just a way. I believe that the Revelations is a script. I think it was intentionally designed that way, and people back then knew the way that it was going. It's just human psychology. So I think it's a script.
One of the things we brought up before is that business touches upon a lot. Business and finances touch not upon just business solely, but also religion, also philosophy, you know, morality. There's plenty that business touches upon, even government. Even though, as a person who believes in laissez-faire both ways, you know, I hate the fact that business is currently really neck deep in politics, and that politics is taking it very hard. But, you know, so I don't mind if you want to bring that up. But with that stated, I do need to point out two things. One, me personally, I don't mind the idea of a one world currency. In fact, religion has been stopping us from achieving world peace and unity, simply because we have so many people that are alarmists and reactionists regarding that. With that stated, above all, at the same time, I also believe that a monoculture is bad. It is. Look at what happens if one thing can affect one banana, it'll affect all of our banana supplies throughout the world, apparently. Same thing with grains, you know what I mean? With that stated, overall, ultimately what will be, what will be. You know, you mentioned, just to jump back real quick, you mentioned about how there is a finite amount of Bitcoin. It's not like paper currency. It's not like the current petrodollar-backed currency of America, where they can just print more money, and that's not good. It has never been good. It hasn't been good since the gold reserve, since gold was denied here in America. You know what I mean? It's a problem. It really is. When it comes down to a one-world currency, a one-world fiat and such, what is there to be afraid of if it's transparent and it's doing better than the previous currency. Seriously. As far as that being the mark of the beast, I want to point something out. We already have something like that going down with Amazon here in Washington. In fact, good old Washington in Seattle, from what I hear. Amazon's grocery store, which there's like nobody manning it except people that stock the aisles. You go in there, you buy, you pay with your phone, you leave. You don't even need. It's gotten to the point where you don't even need to type in anything, but at the same time, that does keep you open to certain technical piracy and such.
Yes.
Let's not. We'll go into that in another episode, when it comes to IT and support and securities. Ultimately, if you want to go the route of religion in this, I need to point something out. There have been people who have theorized that literally the Hebrew letter W or whatever, or 6, I think it is. Yeah, the Hebrew number 6 looks like a W, and if you put www dot anywhere on the internet, that the internet is the mark of the beast. Something to consider. Seriously.
Yeah. And there's many things that can be considered. So the W letter is equivalent to in the numerology as number 6 as well. But people play on the fear. Now, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual in nature. I believe there's a higher power. But to say if I bring anything up that's religious and it's offensive, please don't take that to heart. It's just my own personal opinion and experience. Now, if you want to write in the comments, Thomas will think something different. But if you want to write in the comments your opinions, that's fine, and we can address some of these things. But why be afraid of advancement and the betterment of society? What I think it is they're using things like religion and politics to bring fear into the population so we don't change into a better world. The new world will involve a revolution in technology and finance, transacting, bartering, a new world, a utopian world. Well, I see that the blockchain technology is a potential for that. So why be fearful of change? And, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we're being insane using the old fiat currency. It's time for a change. And, when you get out of your comfort zone and into the fear and address these issues, things will get better, because we can only learn from experiences, and even if we stuff up a little bit in the world, we can always overcome it, and we always have, because we're still here. And it will never stop.
At the same time, I need to jump in. At the same time, let's not rush it too much. Now, I know I was just talking about being a progressive and transhumanist and whatnot, but there will come a time, if Bitcoin continues the way it does, and the altcoins, the whole way of doing it, the whole rigmarole, as long as it keeps going the way it does, then yes, it will supplant and standard fiat. Currently, what makes it all work is the fact that it can translate into any currency in the world. That's one of the benefits and strengths of Bitcoin, even, and the altcoins. Litecoin through Kraken.com, which we have no affiliation with. Keep in mind, this is not a sponsorship, but through Kraken.com, I can take most coins. I know definitely Bitcoin, possibly Lite, Doge, and Ethereum, whatever, and Dash even, and then I can translate it to anything in Canada, Japan, or even England. If I was to go to England right now, I am damn well certain I would actually get with Kraken.com just so I can exchange into local fiat faster and cheaper than going to a bank or any third party. But that's the point of it all. Seriously.
Let me tell you something. There's a new ICO, initial coin offering, for a company called Crypto20. Now, Crypto20 is basically all the major cryptocurrency alts like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, Alga, whatever. And all it does is you buy a Crypto20 token, and basically it converts it to all the other currencies. So you can actually use it to send anything anywhere. I have no idea. It's just coming out. The ICO is just that's all I know. So research Crypto20. So you just invest in a Crypto20 token, and it converts it to every other cryptocurrency that's available, most of them anyway. And you can use basically send an Ethereum payment, send a Bitcoin payment, receive any other payment. Basically, it amalgamates all the top cryptocurrencies. So that is beautiful. You go to England, and if you could easily send an American dollar to convert to a British pound easily without the cost of the exchange rate, it'll be so much easier to travel and to use your finances. But this crypto technology makes it so. It allows
before globalist conspiracy theorists. Just saying.
Yes.
One world order, globalist. This is the future the globalists want.
Well, well, in saying that, a new world order I think we need. It's just not the way that it was presented. So not one done by politicians or world leaders or bankers, but a new world order owned or controlled by the common man, and not control in the sense of you know, we're controlling it, but yes, not like that exactly, not dominant, but one where everyone has a say and everyone gets input into the way the world should run. And you know, we still have our districts and our boundaries and our countries and stuff, but it just makes things easier, you know.
Our culture.
Yeah. So we're heading on towards the 20-minute mark. What do you want to do there, Thomas?
Well, first and foremost, I definitely want to put it out there that in the previous episode, we may have forgotten, because you mentioned an ICO there too, and we may have forgotten to add that in the description box.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hit us up in the comments section. We'll listen to it sometime, put it in the comment section. Same thing with today. We'll try and remember to add these new ICOs and the new information to put it in the description box or the comment.
We'll try to remember.
Above all, I would like to point out, Laser is having very interesting issues, but they're still alive. They're not dead quite yet. We're not. They have until next Monday. We'll see what happens when next Monday comes. If they've exit scammed, or it should be taken care of by the end of the day, if not tomorrow.
Yeah, and today is the 30th of November, 2017, just in case you're listening to this episode.
No, it's not. It's 11/29/2017, where God cares.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're listening to this in 2018, 2019, or even 2020, you know, it's a few years back. You know, just to those people in the future who are listening. So 2017, November 30th.
So point in the past.
So in the next episode, I'm going to be talking about who is the Antichrist and how he's using cryptocurrency to take over the world. Thomas, what are you going to talk about in the next episode?
Oh, you put it best. You put it best. Ghost is going to come forth and let us all know in his newest album how Satan is apparently great. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. And
this is not what we should have ended. Dude, it's bad enough. No, we've talked about globalists and people that are.
People are going to expect that we're going to be talking about the Antichrist. Oh my God! People, they're all going to come up. They're all going to come and go. Well, who's the Antichrist? Who's the Antichrist?
Y'all ought to know what. Y'all ought to know what we're about. Awareness junkies. The pen is my sword. Freaking Anubis unit. We all about that life. Catch us in the description boxes below. And we'll catch y'all in the next episode.
All right, guys. See you later. I'm Rodrigo Soto.
I am Thomas Duder.
No, you're not. See you later.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. King Kong got nothing on me. King of the jungle, man, young man, rumble. See you hating on me, but you can't stop my hustle. When your back's against the wall, better fight back.